Everyone, CorruptCarnage here, and welcome to this quick little video where I'm just going to go through Shib. Obviously, Shib is a cryptocurrency that has been pretty much taking the world by storm over the last few weeks. You can basically see, and this is, for a bit of a tip for the young players out there, this is TradingView. TradingView you can use to look at basically any stock around the world, any share. I'm obviously Australian, so I use the Australian share market, or any cryptocurrency, any commodity. Basically, you can search anything around the world and have a look at the charts in TradingView. Very powerful tool, and if you want to go check it out, just go over to tradingview.com. So basically, Shib. Where do I start with Shib? So Shib, just as a starter, I've got a little bit of Shib. I've got 30 million odd. I bought. This is a monthly chart, by the way. This is where I like to kind of define the trend. As you can see, these are basically candlesticks for the months. The last month, basically, Shib had a massive run up to almost 8 and 4 zeros, 9 and 4 zeros, back past the decimal place, and then it got brought right back down to roughly 4 zeros and 6, or roughly 7. And I bought a little bit over in the first month when it was basically put onto Binance, and then I bought a couple of chunks of it, kind of $1,000 worth when it was kind of lower down through here, and then I bought a couple more going as it went up to the top. I haven't sold any yet. I don't think I will be selling Shib anytime soon, but I just wanted to go through the charts to see. A lot of people are asking, will Shib get to $1? And unfortunately, I don't think so, because if you head over to CoinMarketCap, this is where basically you can see what every cryptocurrency is doing. And I think at the moment there's over 2,800 cryptos, roughly, and the total market cap of all the cryptos is almost $2.6 trillion, which is insane. Heaps of money's flown into it over the past kind of 18 months. Heaps of volumes can be coming into the market, and obviously the top couple, Bitcoin, Ethereum. And if you go down to Shiba Inu, and the reason why I don't think that Shib is ever going to get to $1 is because at the moment, and based on this current volume, or the total amount of Shib available, this is billion, this is trillion. So almost 550 trillion Shib coins are available and are in circulating supply. Now, if this figure ever changes, that'll basically throw my theory out the window. I mean, there's other cryptocurrencies that'll basically effectively they'll burn it, and they'll burn certain types of amount of cryptos. But at the moment, Shib has got 550 trillion. I can't speak at the moment. 550 trillion Shib available to move around, which means that if Shib was $1, the total market cap of Shib wouldn't be $36 billion. It would be 550 trillion, which is basically, I don't know what the world economy is in terms of total wealth, but I think Tesla just recently went over $1 trillion. So effectively, Shib, if it was $1, would be worth 550 Teslas in terms of the company, which is insane. So I don't think Shib's ever going to get to $1. If you look at the current market cap for Bitcoin, it's roughly 1.2 trillion. If Shib was to get to 1.2 trillion, the market, the actual Shib cost, Shib price would be 2 decimal places back this way. So at the moment, I'm targeting 3 zeros and a 5 as my kind of peak where I think Shib's going to go. So yeah, I don't think Shib's ever going to get to $1, but I'd love to be proven wrong, because obviously I've got 30 million of them, which is fantastic. But I just don't see in the short term, probably in the next 5 years, that Shib would ever get to $1. But who knows, if it gets to 1 cent, if it gets to 1/100th of a cent, which is, I think, 3 zeros. I may have got that wrong. It's gonna work out well for me. I'm already up like 2,400% with Shib, and this is not financial advice either. This is just me looking at the charts and giving my opinion on what Shib might do in the next few weeks to months. So, as you can see, at the moment, I guess my strategy with a lot of cryptos and stocks is basically looking at volume and price. they're typically the things that can tell you what's going on with it, whether it be a stock, whether it be a crypto, what's happening with the price. Because typically, so supply and demand, right? You know, if there's heaps of supply for oil, for instance, the price generally goes up. If there's not a lot of supply for oil, the price generally goes down, which is what we saw during the coronavirus pandemic, where basically oil was negative dollars. People couldn't sell it. People couldn't get rid of it because there was basically no demand for it. And at the moment, I think the crude oil price is over. Well, it's edging towards $100 a barrel, which is obviously because people are opening up. Oh, sorry, the world's opening up. People are traveling more. There's a little bit of talk around inflation, which is a completely different scenario. But yeah, it's basically supply and demand. So what I generally try and look at, and it's all the cryptocurrencies, it isn't just Shib. Shib is one that I've got under my radar because I've got a fairly sizable holding. I'll generally go back to the charts and have a look at what Shib's done over the past few months. So the current chart here is Shib. It's only been going on Binance for about 7 months now, so there isn't too much data. Obviously, if you bought Shib back in the day, it was 6 zeros, 7 zeros, 8 zeros, and 3 and 4, which is obviously a huge jump up to where it is now. And yeah, so basically I'll go back through and have a look. So you can see when it was first opened up in Binance, there was a huge push up in price. It basically closed at 4 zeros and a 5, and then was brought right back down to the to the bottom of this candle here. And over the past, if I go back to a weekly chart, I might show it a little bit better. You'll see that the Shib price has just been kind of sitting in this kind of channel for the past pretty much maybe 3 or 4 months. And I've been dabbling a little bit in here. As I said, I haven't got huge amounts of volume. I'm not a freaking crypto trillionaire or a crypto billionaire or anything like that. I mean, if Shib gets to $1, that'll be fantastic. But I'm not expecting it to, nor, I'm just happy to kind of trade what I see. So you look in the weekly, you can see when it first opened up on Binance, it got right up to that 4 zeros and a 5, back past the decimal place. I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to say 4 zeros and a 5 in terms of the price. And then it was brought right back down to here. And then basically the week after that, there was a steep drop in price to 5 zeros and a 6. And then it's been kind of chopping between this range for the past, as I said, kind of 2 to 3 months. And then we've got this massive jump in price here on huge volume. This is almost 1,000 trillion volume was traded on Binance that week. And you can see the price went from roughly the bottom of that candle there, which is 5 zeros and an 8, all the way up to 4 zeros and a 3, and then back down to 4 zeros and a 2. I could probably just say 2.6, whatever that is. But yeah, and then you can see from here basically on lower volumes, so you can see the volumes have dropped a little bit, and then the price has kind of crept up slowly. And the last week been pretty much, a bit of Elon tweeting and stuff like that. There was a massive surge. One thing to keep a note here as well, and this is one thing that I always look at, is you can see how much this share price has risen based on this much volume, and then you've got almost half the volume on this week, and the price has fluctuated from here all the way up there. So it's one thing to kind of have a look at that, because what that means is half the volume, it essentially means that it's a buyer's market. The price has gone right up to here and then kind of come back down to the point where it is. And it's just been a new month in Australia too. It's 10 a.m. on November the 1st. So this is basically a brand new candle that just started. So that's don't take any notice about this candle just here until we go to a lower time frame. But what I'm just going to do is just going to delete this. What am I doing here? It's going to delete. I'm pretty sure undo. Oops. Oopsie. Undo. There she goes. So yeah, one thing to keep in mind is, these 2 weeks here, there's a bit of choppiness. And if you had a look at the 1 day charts, we can go back and have a look, and you see a bit of a, the share price on things, whether it be crypto or stocks, doesn't generally go up all the time. There's heaps of people that would have bought down here and then have kind of taken profits back down to here, for instance. Some people that have put in a couple of $1,000 are happy to take profit when they get, 2,000%, which is insane. Profit and basically, either sell a little bit and take profits or basically get out of it completely. But just the one thing to keep in mind is volume. So volume is a key indicator that I always use. I just don't like to see a huge spike in volume and the price continues up on half the volume, that to me says that this cryptocurrency is kind of running out of steam. But yeah, if I go back down to a lower time frame, which is the 1 daily, you'll see that what Shib's done over the past kind of few weeks, as I said, it was kind of in this range, and then it kind of broke through on high volume. This is something good to see here as well, which is on the daily. It's way easy to see. You can see a rising price up here, and you can see rising volume, rising price, I meant to say. And then, you know, a lot of people taking profits in this day here, and then it's kind of trended sideways. You probably even say that's an ascending triangle, and then it's busted out on good volume as well, up towards the upside. But the problem is, you have a look here as well, like this run up here was based on pretty much half the volume for the previous run, which is, for me, is a bit concerning. And this is where I'm kind of at with Shib at the moment, and I'll probably go back to probably a 4-hourly chart, I reckon, and see what it's kind of doing from there. But oops, let me go back to this again. Sorry, I normally use TradingView on my iPad. I'm not used to using it on the computer. But if you head down to, say, a 4-hourly chart, which probably makes a bit more sense now what's happening. Oh, look at that, beautiful. There's a bit of a horizontal or a descending triangle forming there. I'll just draw that quickly. You can kind of see that the share price, or sorry, the price of Shib. You could probably draw a line down through here as well. And unfortunately, this is not a good sign for Shib if this plays out. If I type in just a descending wedge into just Google Images, you'll see that descending wedges isn't too bad, actually. Typically it's bearish. There's ascending triangle or a descending triangle. Typically means that the price will consolidate inside this triangle. The top line is your upper trend line, but the bottom line is your support. And typically, you know, sometimes stocks or price hits this 3 to 4 times, and then it goes down lower. Typically, that's what the trending of a descending triangle is. But if you have a look at volume here as well on the 4-hourly, you'll see that they've had, on this price action just here, you'll see that the share price pretty much was to the moon. And then ever since then, the share price has kind of flattened out, and basically the price of Shib has stayed within this range. So, not saying that Shib is not going to break up and go higher. It'll have to do that on high volumes or higher volumes to the upside. But it looks likely from what I've seen here that Shib will continue to. And should I always do that? Why am I drawing everything on charts? I'll just reset this as well. Like that, beautiful. I'll just squash that in just a little bit. There we go. I think what you'll see is pending Elon. Let's get rid of a couple of these. Perfect. Go back to the hourly chart. You probably, as I said, pending news. You probably see. So it's reached upper trend line, gone down to support, almost to the trend line, back to support, kind of chopped itself up to the support again, back down to the trend, back down to the support line. Back up, and it's almost double topped up here, and it could go down. If it breaches this support line, you probably see Shib drop down to maybe this level here. There's a couple of pivots down through here, and if it breaks those, it could go down to this one, down to the bottom here, which is 4 zeros and a 3. Not saying that I'm bearish at all. I just like to use the charts because the charts don't lie. It's one thing that if you ever kind of look at the charts and get a bit of an understanding of the charts, volume and price, you can kind of see what's happening with the price. And as I said, it's kind of based on the supply and demand curve. But it'd be interesting to see what the Shib does. And keep in mind, it's a new month as well. So you know, a lot of people may have taken profits at the end of October to maybe try and potentially use that money to buy other things or to pay tax or whatever it may be. But I think what you'll find is that this may bounce off this line. You can see that red candle there, and it may come down and test this support. If it uses the support and bounces back to the high side, it could break this trend line and go further. I'd like to see that on higher volumes as well. That would be fantastic, and I might jump on board and just a bit of a short-term trade. But I think if volumes are low, if it does break this, basically 0.0006, so 4 zeros and a 6, this could definitely go. The share price could definitely go lower to the low side, and maybe test, depending on the volume and how many people are getting out of Shib, could be down as low as 0.0003, so 4 zeros and a 3. But so that's it. That's my kind of a bit of analysis on Shib. I don't think Shib's ever going to get to $1. Hopefully you guys agree, and if you do agree, please leave a comment below. If you don't agree with, you think Shib's going to get to $1, please tell me why that is, because I don't think that's ever going to happen. But otherwise, you're going to have Shib valued pretty much the same as 550 Teslas at current day prices, being the 1st of November 2021. But that's my analysis on Shib. If you like this video and you want me to do more, please leave a massive like. Otherwise, I will see you guys in another video where I talk about cryptos, where I might talk about stocks. But yeah, please like, favorite, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in another video. See yous.